Touchline talks. No tactics. No filters. Just soccer and some hooligans.
Welcome again to Touchline Talks with us, the 90th Minute Hooligans. As you can see, Lucas, Jay, Harvey, and myself, Luis. Unfortunately, our man Kalon could not join us tonight. He is still in Jamaica, and he is still without internet and still without power. So we're going to try to get him on the later shows. But we welcome all of you guys for some more culture, chaos, and soccer. We appreciate all of you listening in once again. Last week was really fun for us, and we're excited to continue with these topics for all you viewers at home. Fellas, how we feeling today?
Great, man. Great night. Excited for tonight. You know, we got some good topics to talk about, so I'm really excited to get it started.
Same.
Yeah, same. It's a pleasure being back here with you guys.
I love it. And how'd you guys feel about episode 1?
Yeah, I think it went great, actually. You know, we said a lot of informative things for the audience. You know, we got great positive feedback. Let's just keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Except my English. My English is a little rusty. I haven't practiced in like 10 years since we graduated.
I was about to say, Harvey,
I feel
how's
like
your
I can't
English?
speak English anymore.
No, I liked it, man. It was very informative, and I'm pretty excited to go a little bit deeper into each topic that we talked about.
For sure. I'm excited for everybody at home. I'm excited for us just to be able to talk more and get the ball rolling here. And great for all of you listening at home. Just a quick recap of last week's show that hopefully you can access somewhere, hopefully on this screen. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure out this whole tech stuff, but we did cover a few topics from what the World Cup is to the significance of it coming to North America this year, to how teams make it into the tournament, to which teams have already qualified. Definitely a bunch of info to unpack. But today we're really going to dive into more details of how it all works, especially for all of these teams and the countries involved. And remember, for all of you at home, this will undoubtedly be the largest World Cup ever. 48 countries will be represented at this World Cup, the most ever. Cultures will collide, and the greatest melting pot in history will come to life from June 11th to July 19th. So I'm excited for that, and I know all these guys here are excited. So this episode, we're really gonna focus on these teams and how they've been placed into the tournament. This is called the World Cup draw. And so what is the World Cup draw? And how does it work? It all starts with understanding the 48 teams that make it in to begin with. We can't talk about the draw until we understand the teams that are in it. And as explained by Harvey in the last episode, the qualifications are divided into 6 continental confederations. Those confederations include 1, the AFC, which is the Asian Football Confederation, so all of Asia. We've got the CAF, which is the Confederation of African Football, which is, of course, all of Africa. We've got the CONCACAF, which is the Confederation of North, Central America, and the Caribbean Associations. So, obviously, North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. And then we have CONMEBOL, which is the South American Football Confederation, so all of South America. We got the OFC, which is Oceania Football Confederation, which is Oceania, so like New Zealand, and that's basically it. And then we have the UEFA, which is the Union of European Federations Association, so all of Europe and their opinions, I guess. So these teams have been competing since September of 2023 to be able to make it into the World Cup. So earning points through regional games in their respective confederations. Now, here are the teams, once again, that have already qualified up until this point. So in Asia, we've got Japan, Australia, Iran, Uzbekistan, Korea Republic, Jordan, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. In Africa, we've got Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Ghana, Cape Verde, Senegal, Ivory Coast, South Africa, and Algeria. In North America, Central America, and the Caribbean, we have USA, Mexico, Canada. Remember, all these teams automatically get a bid into the World Cup as host nations. Curacao, Panama, and Haiti. In South America, we've got Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Colombia. In Europe, we've got England, France, Croatia, Portugal, Norway, Germany, the Netherlands, Scotland, Spain, Austria, Belgium, and Switzerland. And then Oceania, we've got New Zealand. So these are the 42 teams that have qualified already. But remember, this is a 48 team tournament. So what happened to the other 6 teams? Well, the remaining 6 spots are still up for grabs for teams that were runner-ups in their qualifying. 4 spots for European teams and 2 spots left for the rest of the world. They will now basically have their own mini tournament in March. These games will be played March 26th and March 30th. So the winners on March 26th will then play on March 30th for those final spots. So let's talk about who's still available for these final spots. So for the European teams, we still have in Group A, and this is of the mini tournament, not the actual World Cup. This is a mini tournament before we even get into the World Cup. So Group A, we've got the winner of Italy versus Northern Ireland. They will play the winner of Wales versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's Group A. In Group B, we have the winner of Ukraine versus Sweden. Will then play the winner of Albania versus Poland. In Group C, we've got the winner of Turkey versus Romania. We'll play the winner of Slovakia versus Kosovo. And in Group D, we've got the winner of Denmark versus Northern Macedonia. We'll play the winner of Czechia versus Ireland. And that will make up the 4 teams for Europe. So each of those groups, there'll be a winner for Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group D. That's 4. Those 4 will make it in from the playoffs into the World Cup. Then we have the Intercontinental Tournament. So this is the rest of the world. And there are 2 possible teams that can come out of this tournament. So we have the winner of Jamaica versus New Caledonia. Will play the Democratic Republic of Congo as of now. And in the second group, the winner of Bolivia versus Suriname will play Iraq. So these will make up those, again, last 2 spots. So before we dive into the draw and how that works and the placement of these groups in the actual tournament, who do we feel, guys, that will make up these last 6 spots? And we'll start with talking about the European teams that still have a shot. So let's talk about Group A first in this mini tournament. So we have Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. So Lucas, let's start with you. Is there somebody here that you feel like, hey, they're going to take it?
I can't see Italy not going through, like 100% Italy. Yeah.
It's got to be them. Okay.
Yeah,
They have the they have the tradition, they have everything, like out
Okay.
of the 4 out of the 4 nations, I don't see any other nation coming out of there not being Italy.
Jay, you feel the same way? It seems like you're kind of on the same page with that.
I'm on the same page, man. Mi italianos, what y'all doing? Mi italianos. I want them to win. Obviously, they've been slacking for a while now, and the fans are livid. So it's going to be a lot of criticism if they don't go through. So, they
For
have
sure.
a lot to lose, but I want to see them win, right? There's a lot of great players. The Italian football is just phenomenal. So I want them to win. If they lose, it's going to be bad.
How about you, Harvey? What do you think?
This is a good group, man. I don't really have a favorite, if I'm being honest with you. I'd love to see Italy go through just because they've always been like a favorite, to win the World Cup and go far. They're one of the few teams that have actually won it. I'd also pull for Northern Ireland out of this group, if I'm being honest with you. I'd like to see them kind of get in there and do their thing and establish themselves because I think they got a good core,
Yeah,
They don't have any star players, but they do have a lot of guys that they're in good teams. They're working hard and whatnot. So I think they could pull through as well.
for sure. And it's crazy because Italy's the highest ranked team in FIFA rankings who have yet to qualify. They're currently number 12.
Yeah.
So which is kind of crazy to think. Yeah, but because their last match was against Norway and they lost 4-1. So
Norway.
I don't know. It's like, do we think that maybe that 4-1 loss in Norway like wakes them up and it's like, holy crap, guys, you got to get our shit together, kind of thing, Because again, it's you have a whole country on your back. They won the World Cup in 2006, and then it's kind of been a struggle since then. Because then they won the Euros out of nowhere. They won nobody was expecting them to win the Euros, and then they won the Euros.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the expectation is there, but it's almost kind of a toss up too. But I think that with this group, right, Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Bosnia and Herzegovina, it has to be Italy. Like it just has to be.
And
Hey,
who's
if
the
Bale
coach for
if Bale
Italy
didn't
right now? Do you guys remember who the head coach for Italy right now is?
Gattuso,
Gattuso. Yeah,
former player, he's
that's right. AC
yeah.
Yeah,
Milan
he won the
player.
World Cup, I think, with Italy in 2006.
So this will be his first. So it'll be interesting what he brings. You know, what kind of players and
Yeah,
everything. So
for sure.
yeah.
So we all agree on Italy. So let's go to Group B now. So this one's interesting. So we've got Ukraine, Sweden, Albania, and Poland. So who are we taking here? I'm going to start with you, Harvestos.
I'm going with Sweden.
And why? Why Sweden?
Well, you know, Ibrahimovic didn't really get to really shine on that World Cup stage, you know. But right now, I'm a really big fan of Isak, Alexander Isak, the guy that Liverpool just bought. I mean, I'm just, you know, I'd love to see him in there, watch him ball out and do his thing. Because, I mean, I don't know if you guys watch him in the Premier League. He's not doing so hot right now in Liverpool, but when he was at Newcastle, like, he was like prime Ronaldinho.
I don't know about that, but
Nah, all right, whatever.
I'm Ronaldinho. You can't, dude. That's hard, man.
Isak, he's a baller, man. He creates chances.
Okay,
I think he deserves it.
Jay, how about you? Who you're taking in that one? Ukraine, Sweden, Albania, or Poland?
I mean, that one's a little tough. I like Sweden. I like Poland. I'd like to see Ukraine, you know, especially some of these underdog teams or teams that really haven't been in the World Cup. Like I want to see those players from those countries, you know, come out and onto the big stage and do something big. Right. I'm really excited to see those kind of players and what names are about to pop out. And, you know, because when you're talking about smaller countries, you know, they don't have the resources, the big countries, they don't have the money, they don't have the fan base. So you know for a fact that they're coming in with everything they got. Like this is their one-time shot opportunity. So they're going to throw it all out there. And these guys really, really play for the shirt. Like it's their country. Like these are the guys that will bleed to death and die on that field to get all their shot. Right. I mean, that's what that's what I'm excited to see, especially for Ukraine and the, what was the other team?
Albania.
Poland.
Albania. Right. So, you know, I don't really have a favorite for that group. We know that with Poland and Sweden, those have been some favorites, but I want to see Ukraine and Albania really produce something.
Okay, cool. Lucas, how about you? Who do you think?
I think I would go for Poland. Like I think they have like some good players. They have their experience for knockout matches.
Could see that.
Yeah, I like Poland here too. I'm actually, you know, Harvey is really set on Sweden, but I'm surprised they're even still alive because of their last few matches that they had for World Cup qualifying. But you know, Albania doesn't have a bad team. I mean, they're 3-1 in their last 4 games, and their only loss was to England 2-0. So it wasn't like a crazy loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Ukraine, also, the reason I like Ukraine is because of all the political stuff going on in Ukraine, right? With the war and the fight over there. And, you know, they have something to fight for. So, like, when Jay's talking about, like, they're rooting for their country, like, they have something to fight for and they can get a whole country behind them. And just think about politically what that does. You know, it's like, you know, back when the Olympics happened during the Cold War and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, there's a lot of political stuff that happens. And look, the World Cup is a very political thing. People don't realize that, but it is very political. And for them, if they were able to get into something like this, I think it'd be huge. But, you know, they just because they have something to fight for. But I think Poland, it's just going to have to depend on Robert Lewandowski, their all-time leading goal scorer. And he initially stepped away from the national team until the coach was replaced or whatever. And then they fired the coach, new coach came in, and he said, you know what, I'm committing to the 2026 World Cup. And so, you know, I'm a Barca fan, you know, he's one of our strikers, so I'm going to root him on. And I think that it would be cool to see him go in there with these greats that are having their last World Cups, right? The Messi, Ronaldo.
You gotta cry after this World Cup.
Yeah.
Because those are all the greats, you know, that we grew up watching. Like that's the last chapter of our soccer career. Like those were our idols and heroes.
Yeah.
Like It's gonna be a sad day. I'll tell you that.
No, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And who are like again? If we were to list them out, right? We have Messi, Ronaldo, of course. We've
Neymar is
got
probably gonna be if he makes it, it's gonna be his last World Cup. Probably.
Hopefully he
Kevin De
goes. Yeah.
Bruyne. Yeah, Neymar, Kevin De Bruyne. Croatia's what's his name again? Oh, shoot, I lost it right now.
Modric.
Modric.
Yeah.
James Rodriguez, like you said, a lot of these players that were like top notch. It's crazy. So I would like to see Robert Lewandowski be there for his last one too. So, but okay, cool. So we've got group A and group B. So let's talk about group C. So we've got Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo. So, dude, I have no idea about most of these teams. My first thought process is Turkey, but because it's Turkey, right? Like Turkey fans, I remember Debola when he came and visited us, Harvey, and he would talk about his experience playing in the Turkish second league, remember? And he used to talk about these fans are the craziest fans in the world, it felt like. Jay, you were in Turkey not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
So,
one of my good friends and business partner, shout out to Febzi and Coryaden, our jewelers. They got married over there, and they're from Turkey. So I'm a little biased on this one because I have a lot of business partners and friends that are from Turkey, and Turkey's wonderful, beautiful. So I'm going for Turkey.
nice.
Yeah,
What we got?
I would go. I would go for Turkey as well, just based on tradition. They've made it to the. I think they were third place in 2002 when Brazil won the World Cup. They were in the semifinals against Brazil. So just based on what I know, I would go for Turkey.
Okay. Javesos, you thinking the same thing?
By default, yep.
By
I
default.
mean, they have some good players. They've always had skilled players. They got what's his face on Real Madrid right now that I'm just expecting him to control the whole game. Well, the whole midfield. What's his name? You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
You know
The
players way more than
midfielder.
I do. I go based on momentum.
It's Arda Arda Güler. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Goulaire? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's why I'm going for them.
Didn't he come from Fenerbahce? Which team did he?
Yeah, it was Fenerbahce or one of the Turkish team. I can't pronounce all of it. Sport or something like that. But yeah, it's one of those teams. They bought him real young.
Yeah. And Turkey in their last game, they tied Spain, which is one of the favorites to win the tournament. They tied, I think they tied like 2-2 or something like that. I don't know the exact score, but I know they tied it. So I think, yeah, it's a no-brainer for sure, I think.
They're good, bro. No disrespect to the other team.
Yeah, for sure. So anybody watching, if you're from Romania, Slovakia, or Kosovo, we love you guys too. So we've got the last one, Group D, which I think is a really interesting group. So Denmark, Northern Macedonia, Czechia, or Ireland. So I know we're all smiling here because we know Mario's
listening.
So for all of you out there, we have a really close teammate of ours. His name's Mario. He's from Macedonia. So, he even messaged us and telling us that Macedonia has no chance. So I think we can eliminate Northern Macedonia based on their own people saying there's no way they're making it in. But I don't know. What are we feeling, guys, on this one, Jay?
I'm rooting for him. Just for you, Mario. Just for you. I'm rooting for him.
Okay.
You're going to be my favorite for this one.
You imagine, wasn't it a couple years ago that they just shocked? They played somebody and shocked the world. Like they were like, "Oh my!" Was it Portugal maybe? Or
they beat Portugal last month too.
Oh, they beat Portugal last month. Really?
Yeah. Watch out for Troy Parrott.
I thought that was Ireland beat Portugal 2-0.
Isn't that what we're talking about?
No. We're talking about North Macedonia.
I'm sorry. Well, you know who I'm gonna pick for this group.
Well, yeah. Already.
So obviously Harvey is picking Ireland. Is it because of their that 2-0 win against Portugal?
Yeah, and they won. Absolutely. They're in form.
Dude, I really, really like them because of the momentum that they have. They had the 2-0 win against Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Then they played hungry to stay alive. They scored in stoppage time in the 96th minute. to win 3-2 in order to even get to this point. The fact
Right.
that you viewers out there, stoppage time is the extra time that they put on because the game goes 90 minutes. If there's any injuries or any delays to the game, they add that to the end of the 90th minute. And so in the 96th minute, they scored to win 3-2. And I am a little biased because my brother-in-law is half Irish, so I wanna see them come in as huge underdogs, and I think it'd be fun to watch them play. I love you, Mario, but again, I don't think Northern Macedonia has a chance. Who knows? Lucas, who you feeling, Lucas?
I mean, I think Ireland can surprise, but I just like I talked about the last group. I think Denmark, they have like a solid defense. It's good for knockout games.
Yeah, and I
They
think
might take it.
most people are going to get behind Denmark. I think most people are, but that's why I want Ireland even more. It's just like they're riding the momentum wave right now. So, but cool. So those are the European groups. Let's go now into the intercontinental. So, first group, of course, we've got Jamaica playing New Caledonia, and they're gonna, the winner of that's gonna play the Democratic Republic of Congo. So, Harvey, I got to start with you on this one.
I'm gonna remain very humble, man, because I don't want to talk any kind of mess right now. You know who I'm pulling for? Jamaica. But if they lose this game, man,
You don't
I'm
want to
probably
think
gonna have to eat
Think
my words. So
I think we
I'm
might
just gonna say, huh?
get Kalon, like a screen of Kalon right now,
You might, yeah.
just making
Well,
just
you,
giving us his thoughts on the on
Add
the.
him in.
you know what he's gonna say, man. But I'm gonna humbly say Jamaica.
Yeah. And I mean, he's there right now, so he could probably get a feeling, because this is the thing with Jamaica, I feel like right now. And I think this is with most, teams that get so close to making it and they don't make it sometimes. It's the same thing with like the feeling I have when like Chile, like Chile is either on or off. There's usually like no in between, and it just feels like, are they gonna make it? Are they not gonna make it? I don't even know. But it feels like it all comes from like, is the country behind them or not? Like, because sometimes the country gets pissed and they're just like, what the hell? Why are we losing these games that we shouldn't be losing? And then they're just like, it is what it is, forget it. Or do we feel like the country's going to get behind them and be like, yo, let's get it together. Let's fill in that last spot to make it happen.
I think it's half and half, man. I think there are people that are extremely hopeful, and I also think there are people that have completely written them off already, just because history never lies. Like they tend to choke in big games at the end, right there when they have the lead, just things like that, And I hate to say it, but it just happens all the time. So I think a lot of people wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make it, but I'm one of those hopeful ones. So
I mean, I hope they make it. I for sure.
yeah,
I want Jamaica. I mean, it's a better. I think it's again no
yeah.
hard feelings to anybody from Congo or anybody from New Caledonia. I just think it'll be a better World Cup with Jamaica in it. Just with that,
Yeah.
with how many Jamaicans are in the U.S. You know what I mean? So
Of course.
it's just I just think it makes for a better World Cup. Lucas, how about you? Who you thinking?
I mean, I don't have a guess, but I'm rooting for Jamaica just because it would be better for the podcast as well.
Y'all two better be careful what you say.
And so you too, right, Jay? Are we good?
Absolutely, man. I gotta stand behind my Jamaican brothers. My brethren, like I want them to go far. Like Harvey was saying, man. It's just disappointing because obviously we've played with Jamaicans, and they're great. Like there's great players, and for some reason I don't know why you guys do choke at the very end. Like y'all have what it takes. Y'all have the passion. Y'all have the skill. So let's get over that fucking hump, and let's get let's get to that stage, man. Yeah, but I'm behind Jamaica 100%.
All right, so Jamaica all the way. And then this last one is really, really, I mean, it's a toss up, I think. So we've got the winner of Suriname versus Bolivia will play Iraq or however you guys want to say it. So who are we feeling there? Lucas, I'll start with you.
I mean, I think Bolivia has a good team from what I watched when they played against Brazil, so I would go for them. I haven't watched Iraq or Suriname play, but I would go for Bolivia.
Okay. Jay?
Yeah, I haven't really watched a lot of games from them. I mean, yeah, just I would probably go with Bolivia too. I mean, I can't really say much about the other teams. I really haven't seen them play, so I don't have much input on there. I'm excited to, watch the other games and see what that they can do. But right now, for me, it'd just be simple Bolivia.
Yeah. Harvey, you
Yeah.
feel the same way?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd go for any one of these teams. Iraq, I have no history on them. Bolivia, I know they're doing pretty good right now. And Suriname, I kind of feel like they're kind of on the same caliber of Jamaicans, just like a lot of skillful players, but no like experience to kind of put it all together. So out of this group, I'd probably say Bolivia as well.
Yeah, I feel like you said Bolivia has been doing well, but they actually do well when they play on their place because of the altitude.
Oh
They play
okay.
over like I don't know how many meters, which
Mhm.
does make a difference. So
So we
they
gotta make
beat Brazil 2-0.
I did hear that, yeah. It's so high. I heard the Estadio Azteca is like that too.
Oh
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
it
up
is.
there.
yeah. For those players that know, especially when I went to go train over there and I came back in the U.S., boy, I was in shape. So it's hard to breathe. Like, yeah, it's gonna be tough for some of those players.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm going for Suriname in this one. And I think that the whole point of the 48 teams in the World Cup, giving the opportunity to those who have never played in it. Suriname is one of those teams. They've never been in a World Cup. So for me, give me Suriname. Let's get another team that's never been in a World Cup. That's how I feel about it. So we've got
Nice.
so if I go back and we talk about the people the ones that we really feel like, of course, Group A, we're feeling Italy. Group B, we're feeling underdogs, but maybe Poland or Sweden. Group C, we all felt pretty confident with Turkey. Group D, we all felt pretty confident with Ireland. And then we have Jamaica, of course, for the Group 1 of the Intercontinental.
fire!
The reggae boys. We need the reggae boys to step it up,
Just kill 'em when you need 'em, man.
Irish. I sounded more Irish than I did Jamaican. And then second group.
The accents are actually one and the same. A lot of Irish people were sent to Jamaica,
There we go.
and that's where it came from. A little history lesson.
Little
Sorry.
history.
Okay.
Never knew. All right. And then of course we're between Suriname and Bolivia in that last group. So look, so now that we have all the teams or potential teams, let's talk about the draw. Right. And the draw, for all of you listeners, once again, the draw is the selection of teams called the final draw. So it's the selection of teams that gets put into the groups to actually start the tournament before we move into the knockout rounds. So winning or being a runner-up in these groups is crucial for the success of these teams in the knockout rounds. So the draw is really important to see who a team will face in order to give them a better or worse chance of moving on. Now, the draw happened December 5th in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts, where in attendance wasn't only some of the biggest names in soccer history, but also the president of the United States, Donald Trump, was there. The president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, Mexico's first ever female president, was there, and Canada's prime minister, Mark Carney, they were there as well. So huge political event as well. Again, it's in the World Cup. It's very political at the end of the days. It's culture. That's why we talk about culture, chaos, and of course, soccer. But did you fellas get a chance to watch the draw a little bit? Because there was some awkward parts, it felt like, and I don't know.
Definitely chaos.
Definitely chaos. Okay. Jay, what'd you feel?
I mean, you could see the setup. I mean, there's a lot to talk about in that draw. And I feel we need to educate our listeners, the backstory about FIFA. I'm sure there's a documentary. So if you guys haven't seen it, go check that out and then watch the draw. And you kind of see the pieces just unraveling right there. But I also thought, like you said, there were some people like Fernandez that was really serious. And then you had, like Kevin Hart was he was funny, but also like serious. So there was some good bits and stuff like that. But Donald Trump, he was like, I wonder who this is going to be in the last draw. So you could see just like it being staged like that. But yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I saw some snippets and some clips of it.
Yeah. Lucas, did you see any of it?
Yeah, I mean, I just like to watch the draw itself. Like I don't really care about the show itself, but I just
Yeah.
like to see what groups actually come out of it.
Yeah, and it was, I feel like there was too much fluff, for this, because they made it a big show and everything, because they were trying to make it really big because it is North America, and you have, three of the biggest powers, all in one. And of course, Kevin Hart and Heidi Klum, they co-hosted it, and there were a lot of performances. But anyway, so moving on from the actual show itself, then there are what they call draw assistants, and they are the ones who randomly select the balls out of the pot and announce the teams placed in the groups. So those who were the pot assistants were Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq, the Tom Brady, Aaron Judge, and Wayne Gretzky. So how did we feel about them being the people drawing the balls? Are we happy with that? Are we upset that it wasn't, there weren't soccer players doing it? Or, I mean, what are we thinking, fellas?
I think it was pretty cool. I mean, to have, a person from each sport up there, and, it just kind of broadcasts it out to the other sports, and, seeing big time athletes up there. I liked it. I didn't mind it.
I feel like it brings the importance of the World Cup because you bring icons of other sports to the drawing, so you can grab more attention from the people that don't know about soccer. They might just watch the draw and maybe get a little more interested in soccer just because of the people that are doing it. But I thought they could have like a soccer icon, like personality from the US over there, like Donovan, or I don't
I was
know.
gonna say, who would you choose? Yeah, Landon
I
Donovan.
mean, Len
I feel like
Donovan probably.
Yeah.
The experience, like true experience, Landon Donovan for sure would have to be. And look, I mean, I think it's cool, like, like Jay said, to have these icons from the four major sports. That's why they had them up there, right? Because they are representing the four major sports of North America, being football, basketball, baseball, and hockey. So I mean, hopefully it changes soon to where it's not only those sports, but soccer becomes one of the big ones on there. But hopefully it brings more attention, right? It brings more attention from viewers from those. So but now that the stage is set, right? So we have we've got the music playing, we've now have the draw assistants. Now let's talk about the confusing part for a lot of people and for a lot of viewers, which is how the draw actually works. So these 48 teams, or 42 teams, and 6 placeholders we just spoke about will be drawn into 12 different groups with 4 teams in each group. Think of it as like a grid. You'll have groups 1 through 12, which are designated a letter from A through L. And there are 4 pots with 12 teams in each pot. So pot 1 has 12, pot 2 has 12, pot 3 has 12, and pot 4 has 12. And each pot represents the teams and their FIFA rankings as of November 19th. I think it's November 19th of 2025. So pot 1 has the teams that are ranked 1 through 9 in the world, plus the 3 host countries, USA, Mexico, and Canada, because of course they get favored as host countries, making it a total of 12 for the first pot. Pot 2 has teams ranked 13 through 24. Pot 3 has teams ranked 25 through 36. And pot 4 has the teams ranked 37 to 42, plus the 6 placeholders still remaining to decide. So basically, you can view it as seed 1, seed 2, seed 3, and seed 4 for each group. Now, in order to make it competitive but also fair, there will be 1 team per pot for each group. So the top 12 teams in the World Cup basically would not face each other in the group stages. So the host nations are automatically placed into groups pre-draw, which is what Jay was bringing up before, where it's like, oh, I wonder who this is going to be, right? So Canada drew their thing first and they showed it, and it was Canada, and it was the person who drew it was not one of the draw content assistants. It was the Prime Minister of Canada who drew it. It was Canada. Oh, wow, what a surprise. And then we have for Mexico's president, showed it up, and Claudia Sheinbaum, and boom, it's Mexico. Great. They're in They have Group A, and then we have Group D, which it skipped Group C, but they put USA in Group D, where Donald Trump came up and he selected a USA for Group D, and they did that to give each team a favorable chance of making it, because that's the whole point of making the World Cup, is as a host, because you're using all the resources and you want more views and you want, again, the political and the money side of it and all that good stuff. You want to give the host nations a favorable chance of making it further along. And so that's why they have them in those pots. So next, the draw assistants. So Brady, Shaq, Aaron Judge, and Wayne Gretzky, they will pull all of pot 1 first. So it was, I believe, Tom Brady went first and he pulled out all the pot 1 teams. And then Shaq pulled out all the pot 2 teams. Aaron Judge pulled out all the pot 3 teams. And then Wayne Gretzky pulled out all the pot 4 teams, and those went into the groups. Now, the grouping is not that straightforward. It's not just like, hey, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pot 1 team automatically gets the first spot, so they get the first position in it. But the numbers 2, 3, and 4 in that group stage do not automatically fall in that place. So instead of their position being in that order, they can vary based on the group they get selected into. And it's almost like a snake draw. So they do this to give random selection and to see who plays the first games in that group and to see who plays the last games in that group and give more variety. So before doing the random draw per pot, it is important to understand some rules here. And first rule is that 2 teams from the same confederation cannot be placed in the same group unless it's a European team, which the European, you can only have a max of 2 European teams per group. And of course they do that because there are more Europeans in the World Cup than any other confederation, which also means that every group has to have a European team in it. So just a couple of rules to understand and why the draw worked the way it did if you go back and you watch it. Also, the top 4 ranked teams in the FIFA rankings are drawn in opposite pathways. So if they were to meet in a game, it wouldn't be until the semifinals of the World Cup. So Spain, Argentina, France, and England, if they were to meet at any point in time, it would be in the semifinals. And just to give you insight on those rankings, we'll post them up somewhere up here so you guys can see what those rankings look like. And so it begins, the draw happens, it goes through Brady, Shaq, Judge, and Gretzky. They all, they pull out the names of the countries, and you hear the oohs and the ahs from the crowd as they come out to find out who they're going to be playing to make it to the knockout rounds. And in next episodes, we'll cover, how the knockout rounds work and how the bracket placement works and all that good stuff. But then we got the groups, right? And these are the groups that we got. So in Group A, we've got Mexico, we've got South Africa, Korea Republic, and then the winner of one of the European playoffs, the one of Denmark, North Macedonia, Czechia, and Ireland. In Group B, we've got Canada, Switzerland, Qatar, and the winner of the European playoff that has Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. In Group C, we've got Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. In Group D, we've got USA, Paraguay, Australia, and then the winner of the European playoff of Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo. In Group E, we've got Germany, Curaçao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. In Group F, we've got the Netherlands, Japan, Tunisia, and the winner of the playoff between Sweden, Ukraine, Poland, and Albania. In Group G, we've got Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. In Group H, we've got Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. In Group I, we've got France, Senegal, Norway, and the winner of the intercontinental playoff between Iraq, Bolivia, and Suriname. In Group J, we've got Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. In Group K, we've got Portugal, Uzbekistan, Colombia, and the winner of the intercontinental playoff between the Democratic Republic of Congo, Jamaica, and New Caledonia. And then the final group, Group L, we've got England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. So that stage, that sets the stage other than the playoffs, right? And we'll definitely have another episode out as soon as those playoffs conclude. At that point in time, we will also dive into each group. But right now, things are still a little fresh and teams still have to qualify and the final rosters aren't done. But lots can change, of course, based on who makes it from those playoffs. But in soccer, we have what we call the group of death and we have what we call group of life. And the group of death refers to the group that nothing is certain, right? Anybody can go home way too early that maybe shouldn't. And so we're going to talk about that. So, because there's a lot of controversy right now as to who is, who isn't, if there even is one. So, guys, who do we believe, which group is the group of death?
I don't think there is actually a group of death because of the the new World Cup, like a lot of teams. But if I would have to say, then I would say Group I, because you have like three teams that can, like maybe four, even if like three teams that can go through. But if you think about it, that like the third place can actually go through, then all of them are going through.
Yeah. And that's the ones with France, Senegal, and those are the
And
France,
Norway, yeah. France, Senegal, and Norway. And then if you add Bolivia to it, then it could maybe bring a little chaos to it.
It could bring some chaos. We do like chaos here. We love
Yeah.
chaos. Harvestos, what do you think?
I'm going with the same group, man. It's definitely Group I. Those are all pretty strong teams. I told you guys from the beginning, Senegal was one of the teams that I'm going for. So to just see them in this group, I definitely agree. And I feel sorry for whoever that fourth place team is going to be. This is three strong teams.
Yeah. Jay, you riding the boat with that one too?
I mean, I would say they're the strongest, but I would say the second would be probably Group C. Brazil, Morocco, those are two big ones. I mean, Scotland and Haiti, they're all right, but
Yeah, I feel like Scotland could bring a little trouble as well, just because of their solid defense. But
yeah,
and their way of qualifying too. Scotland with those goals. Did you guys see those goals?
that's what I'm saying.
No.
Like,
Bro,
the
if you guys have
Scotland,
not,
Morocco, Brazil, Haiti, you never know.
man, I really want Haiti to stir the pot, man. I want Haiti to stir the pot and just
I don't.
make things weird. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of people don't really have them. They're just like even excited they made it to the World Cup because it's only like the second time they've ever made it, and it's just they're excited. But I just feel like if they were to like beat Brazil,
Morocco or Scotland, if they were to beat Morocco or Scotland, not Brazil.
they'd just be like, what?
Dude, if they beat Brazil or Morocco, for them it'd probably be a huge World Cup win. Like that, they would go home happy with one of those wins.
Biggest celebration.
Yeah, it's kind of like us. Mexico and Germany, when we beat Germany, that was huge for us.
Oh, I thought you were thinking of when Germany beat Brazil 7-1. That's what I was thinking.
Well, I wasn't gonna bring that up, but
Nothing's been the same.
Anything to say?
No, believe me, I was there, man. We were in Rio. Remember that, Lucas? We were in Rio. We were at a FIFA fan, and it started storming, and we had to run into a bar. It was almost like the gods were just like storming on Rio because Germany was whooping
God
ass.
was crying.
God was crying.
That's how.
Man. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Group I as well, with France, Senegal, and Norway being in there. And Norway and France, that game is going to be wild. You've got Erling Haaland making his debut in the World Cup, as one of the greatest strikers in the game right now, and Norway's all-time leading goal scorer. And then we got Mbappe, who has already won a World Cup and is the second all-time leading goal scorer for France, only behind Oliver Giroud. So that matchup there is just I feel like that's got to be one of the biggest viewed games in the group stages. Like when we look at numbers and broadcasting and stuff like that, it's got to be one of the biggest games in the group stages.
No, makes sense.
Now, we talked about it, right? There's a catch this year because in the past there were 32 teams and only the top 2 teams from each group would move forward. Now that there's 48 teams, there's 8 third place winners that are going to move forward. Now, do we think, because, Lucas brought it up at the beginning, hey, is there really I don't think there's a group of death. And do we think that the fact that there could be third place winners, right, moving forward into the knockout rounds, do we think that it takes away from the excitement and maybe waters down the competition, making it really hard to have a group of death? Or do we like it because it gives those underdogs another fighting chance to make it to the knockout rounds? I mean, Jay, you're nodding your head. What are you thinking?
Yeah, dude, I think it honestly, it adds excitement, right? Because we've all played in tournaments, right? And you could be really prepped, you could have a great team, but there are those days that nothing goes your way and you just have a really shitty game. And at least with that extra opportunity, like, you can go back out there and really, and prove yourself. Or, I mean, for me, I think it's great. I think it's another opportunity for these underdogs or people that, should be going through, have that opportunity again. Because we've seen many teams that should have gone that fallen through because they, it just wasn't their game, right? So I like it. I think it brings incitement, joy. I think it's a great opportunity. Yes, it waters down the group of death, but I think this actually will, it balances it out, at least in my opinion.
Okay. Harvestos, how about you? What do you feel?
To be honest, I think it could go either way, but like, do y'all know what they're basing these 8 teams on? These 8 third place teams, like
Points.
is it
Like goal
points?
differential. Yeah, points and goal differential. So that's really what it's going to come down to.
I mean, either way, I think it's just a numbers thing at the end of the day, right? We got to break it down to this many levels and this many teams got to go through so that the brackets can work out. I mean, I don't really have a feeling about it either way. So may the best team win.
Okay. Lucas?
I mean, I can see the good side of it, like just Jay said, but I don't really like it because you can have a team that loses 2 games and wins, or only 1 game in the group stage, and they can go through, So
Yeah, and I think there's an exciting part behind it, of course, because I think it's exciting because anything can happen in the knockout rounds, like anything. It's like the Cinderella story for March Madness. You just never know who's going to make it. Like, who knows if Haiti becomes the 3rd team out of that group and all of a sudden they beat a team in the round of 32 to go into the
I
16.
mean, yeah, they would beat a team in the round of 32, but would they make it to the quarterfinals or something?
No, I don't think so. But I think, but then if you think about it, if it's 8 teams and they're basing it on goal differential and points and all that, that means the group stages are going to be more competitive.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
That means it's going to be more competitive because people aren't just going to, if they're like, let's think about it. Sometimes they already lost 2 games. They're like, okay, well, this is just the last game is just, for show. And we already know we're not going to make it through. Now that's not the case. Now that team is still fighting, even though they haven't won anything yet. And so I think it really, like you said, it can go either way, but for all the viewers out there, the bracket, right, and moving from the 48 to the 32 to the 16 can be a little confusing and starting out, especially since there's so many teams this year. But once the group stages are done, it'll make a lot more sense as teams go into the knockout rounds like we're used to here in the United States. But don't get it twisted, because the group stages are still super exciting, especially with how competitive they're probably going to be this year because of it and because of the new formatting. And, if you think about it, in the last World Cup, it reminds me of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia only won 1 game, but that 1 game was famously against the eventual winners, Argentina. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Of course.
Argentina only lost 1 game the whole tournament, and it was to Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia freaking celebrated like they won the World Cup.
That's what I'm saying. These teams will beat these, big teams, and they'll go home loving life because they beat the world champions.
And it was rumored that the Crown Prince actually gifted all the players a
$1 million or a car or
Phantom.
something.
Yeah, Rolls-Royce Phantom. But I think they ended up saying later on. Yeah, I think they ended up saying it wasn't true. But what do we think? Do we think that maybe it was true? They just kept it on the download, the hush hush.
It was probably true.
For sure.
I'm sure they got bonuses.
Yeah, dude. All the international players know it's true. Like we all know. We know.
And that day, that day ended up being recognized as a public holiday for the nation.
Did it really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
That's awesome.
So I think it's super exciting because I think that's going to happen. Something like that's going to happen again in this World Cup. And if we think about it, let's say you're a young kid. In that time, 4 years ago, you're maybe an 8-year-old kid in Saudi Arabia. You have this vivid memory, right, of that game. A country was united. They were cheering for something more. That 8-year-old kid is now like, I want to play. Like, I want to be great. I want to do that. Now that kid wants to be on the field. Now that kid wants to recreate that same feeling for a whole nation, right? We got to think they want to create that for a whole nation, but now from inside the stadium as a player. Now they're thinking about like, hey, I'm 8 years old. Let me start training. Now the next World Cup, I'm 12. Well, that means by the next World Cup, I could be 16. I could potentially be playing at the senior level at 16 years old with how kids are playing nowadays. I mean, Mbappe was a teenager winning his first World Cup, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah,
I mean, they're just recruiting earlier and earlier these days.
So I think that makes a World Cup so awesome. Is that like these star players are created from those moments from nowhere where you never know. Like if you think about it, like Morocco, think about how many great players are probably going to come through Morocco now or want to represent Morocco, because a lot of players from Moroccan descent live in like Spain and France and things of that nature, right? And who knows that they, instead of taking on France or Spain as the country they want to represent, because of that feeling of them making it to the semifinals last World Cup, now they're like, no, I'm representing Morocco. Like I am.
There's a couple players that switch. That's why I'm telling you guys to watch out for them.
So, and that's what's exciting. So is there a country that we feel like that's going to happen this World Cup that's going to change the trajectory of soccer for that country?
Definitely U.S. Definitely the U.S., dude. I'm telling you, I mean, we already have young kids. I mean, we have a young roster, but when these kids from Academy, ODP, all these kids see it live, and this World Cup's just going to change it. I mean, it has so much opportunity for the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's just too much that can, especially with how many eyes are going to be on it, with these kids being in it. It's going to be a whole different vibe, especially with how much it's grown since the last time the World Cup was here in the U.S. in '94. So with how much it has grown, and it still hasn't caught up to the rest of the world. But if there's a great turnout, if the U.S. has a win that just makes people cheer and come together as a country, to where people are just like engulfed in it, there's no reason why it couldn't be the U.S. There's no reason why the U.S. all of a sudden, that 15-year-old kid, that 14-year-old kid, whatever it might be, is just like, hey, I want to relive that moment, and all of a sudden the sport starts to change a lot more here in the U.S. I mean, Harvey, what do you think?
Well, the team that I'm thinking about, they don't necessarily have a lot of players playing elsewhere that would probably switch back. But a team that I think could definitely benefit from this World Cup and see that transformation is Japan. Just watching them the past few years, man, they've been getting better and better. If you watch any of the big leagues around the world, like they're putting their players in top teams now. And I just feel like they're really gonna show up this World Cup. A lot of people don't really talk about them, but I think they're gonna go pretty far in the tournament. And I think once they do, they could probably establish themselves as one of the bigger teams in the world. They've still got to win it before we say the biggest team, but a team to be reckoned with, definitely.
For sure. For sure. I didn't even think about Japan. I kind of forgot
hmm
about Japan, man. And you're right. They do have some really good players. And
hmm
they have some pretty famous matches in World Cups. So
Yeah.
They must have been a strong contender. Yeah.
they've always been pretty sneaky good. So I like that. How about you, Lucas? Do you think
Yeah, I mean, I could go with the US too, just because there's a lot of people there. So it makes more human material available. So you can make more good players come out of it.
Definitely. If all our athletes went to soccer, it would be a wrap.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. I mean, the US, the US is so dominant in every sport, in every other sport, right? You think about the Olympics and you think about
Mhm.
all, from basketball and football and it's just track and field. Everything. They're just now, don't open your eyes. I know Jamaica's great.
You got to give us something, bro.
Yeah. No, for sure. But it's, in all, right? Who wins the most
Yeah.
gold medals at every Olympics?
U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where it's
So whenever the US finds out about soccer, like people actually get to know soccer like they do here in Brazil, like they do in Europe, like some places, other places. So maybe they will
yeah,
be a huge power of it.
everywhere else, soccer is priority number 1, and then
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
every other sport
It's
is
it's your
after.
meal ticket out. It's culture. It's the way of life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's funny, I had a client the other day where there was a little 6-year-old kid, and he's talking to me, and he's, like, bulky, like, strong little 6-year-old kid, and he's got this mullet because the mullet's in nowadays. I'm like, "Hey, that's a cool hairdo, dude." I was like, "You play sports?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, I play football, basketball, baseball, and next year I'm gonna play soccer." And the mom looks over and she's like, "Soccer? Why are you gonna play?" And I'm like, "Play soccer, kid." It's like, I'm like, just it's like, because he's hearing it, right? So obviously, but the
Yeah.
parents, right? The parents are growing up. They grew up in a time where it just wasn't popular, and they're like, "Hey, I'd rather you play baseball or football," And it's don't get me wrong. I played football. I played basketball. I played that stuff. I know Harvey, you played lacrosse in high school as well, and volleyball.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other sports that, don't get me wrong, they're great. I love them. I loved my time playing football. I loved my time playing basketball. I loved my time wrestling and all that stuff. But it's just when there is more emphasis on soccer and we can get those players or those athletes that are like natural athletes, holy smokes. It is for sure. It will be a wrap.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now we talked about, of course, the group of death, and we're talking about, of course, all these teams that can come up and just kind of show out and be a surprise. But then we have, of course, on the other side of it, which is the group of life. Now, for all of you viewers out there, the group of life refers to the team or the teams that have the easiest path, out of the group stage and maybe a higher chance of moving on to the knockout stages around, usually because it's entirely composed of maybe like second tier or third tier teams that aren't as great. And, where realistically anybody can kind of make it out, or maybe there's one team that will for sure make it out easy as can be. Do we have a thought process, guys, of what group we think that might be?
I would go for Belgium. Belgium would like can easily go through. It's Belgium, Egypt, New Zealand, and Iran.
But Egypt, bro?
Egypt, bro. Yeah.
But but Belgium is
Oh,
going
no.
through. Like, is Belgium not going through?
Yeah, yeah, but
It
and again, it makes it hard with the whole, the third teams and all that kind of stuff. It makes it kind of tough to think. But for me, I think that the
Argentina,
group
Argentina are
with Argentina,
Group
That's
J.
that's what my vote is. Group J.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Algeria, Jordan, and Austria. Come on. It's like of course Argentina is going to come out number 1 in that group easy. The question is those other 3. That's a toss up. That's like a true toss up. And you've got Jordan in there who are making their debut in the World Cup. Like you never. I just think that you'll never know. And when I think of Algeria, I think about the World Cup where we were losing and Landon Donovan got the late game winner to beat Algeria, and that's all I think about when it's Algeria. But Argentina, I feel like is going to have a cakewalk with that, and then the other ones are just kind of a toss up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Even Group E, it's Germany and Ecuador, Ivory Coast, Curacao. Germany should dominate that group.
Yeah,
Ecuador's
and
good, but I don't think they've ever beaten Germany,
yeah,
even friendly. And they're not bad, right? But
yeah,
it's a huge gap when it comes to the level.
for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
I think the group that Spain is going to have it pretty easy too. For that,
What's Spain's group? Spain, Uruguay.
you cut out.
I think Spain's Uruguay,
Oh, wait,
Saudi
wait.
Arabia.
Excuse me.
I think they're gonna
Yeah,
come
but
out of that
Uruguay.
group too, but Uruguay can maybe beat them, tie
I don't
them.
think Uruguay. I don't think Uruguay's got it anymore, dude. I don't
What are
think. I
some
think
players that we know?
I think Uruguay is one of those teams that people are going to be like, "Oh shit, they didn't make it out of that group stage." I don't know. I just think it's, and then they're going to be like, "Holy crap! Like we didn't expect that." Well, ain't look that hot. And look, for all you viewers at home, we're going to dive into all these groups later on for sure, and really dissect them and dissect the teams and what to expect from them. And we're going a little long on time, but we're really passionate about this, and we get excited. I think for us, we're gonna get better and better at this podcasting thing as time moves on, and we're gonna have better discussions. And look, next week we're gonna make sure all of you viewers really understand the bracket and how that works, and what does a team need to do to make it out of the group stages, and where will they be placed, and how does the elimination work. And from there we're gonna really start talking about the cities that they're gonna be playing in. And again, we want to talk about the events that are gonna be happening in these cities, and a lot of things that are gonna be going on, places to stay, and we're even gonna be featuring some guests that we're really excited to have on the show again. So we're excited to do this and to continue doing this for all the viewers out there. And we're gonna get Kalon back on here with us when he gets some connection and he got some internet to be able to do it with. But look, guys, until we meet again for some more culture, chaos, and soccer, we are the 90th Minute Hooligans. We'll see you next week.
Touchline talks. No tactics. No filters. Just soccer and some hooligans.